What's up everyone? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Every time I say YouTube channel I want to do this. So today's video is over the construction of this blue patchwork fabric. So the last time you saw, the fabric looked like this. So basically I cut up, which you can see in my, I think I have 2 videos on this, an unboxing of all the fabric because all this fabric was a surprise, and then a construction to get it this far, and kind of my steps in taking that process. So now that I got it this far, I took a little bit of videos of me doing it, but mainly I did it like really fast because I just wanted to get it done. So I'll show you those clips. But basically what I did was I separated the 2 piles of fabric into large and small, because there was a lot of fabric that was smaller cut, especially the blue, the dark blue like square print, and so because of that I needed to separate them because then it was easier to put together. So then after I separated them, I thought long and hard about what pattern I wanted to use. So this pattern, I've used it twice before, one with a houndstooth, and I'll put in a clip of what the houndstooth jacket looks like so you can get a better picture of it. This is the jacket that I was talking about. So this is what the end goal of the project is in the pattern that I'm making. So it will be like a little bit more bulky than this because it's like a thicker fabric, so this will probably stand up some, but yeah, this is what the pattern looks like. Because the pattern really doesn't do justice of what it looks like. Like, this does not like show how good the pattern is, because this, you have the bulk of the fabric and the collar is like straight up, and when it's not straight up, it's really has a really cool drape effect. So I'll show you that, but I decided to use that pattern because I've used it twice before. I know how to sew it, I know how it looks whenever I'm done, and it was like a pattern that doesn't have that many pattern pieces. You can with the views, you can make it shorter or make it longer, just in case I was to run out of fabric, which I almost did. And then also it doesn't have that many pieces. So let me show you the pieces, just to give you kind of a better idea of how I did this. So it has a back piece that is not cut on a folded deck. It's actually the back piece laid flat out. So right here, and then all these lines just show like what view, A, B, or C, like whether you want to do the short version, the medium, or the long version. So then it has a front piece, which is right here. You cut 2 of these. It has an upper and an under collar, which are those pieces. You cut 1 of those, cut 2 sleeves, and then these are the inside pieces. So this is the facing, which is the piece that, because of the drape of it, it lays like this. I don't know if that will translate well what I'm trying to say, but basically you need a piece of fabric on the inside to look nice. And then it has let's see what they call it. Oh, just a front lining, which is this piece number 6, which you can get by without putting on, which is what I did because I originally thought I didn't want to put that piece on because it would be really bulky, and then I didn't have enough fabric for it. It's not like I ran out, I just didn't have enough fabric for it, so I just decided not to do that. So we have those pieces, 6 pieces, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, 6 pieces, some of which we need to cut 2 of, which are the sleeves, the front pieces, and the facing pieces. So I had to remember that. And then I took a couple video clips of this part, so I'll show you. But basically I took the fabric and I laid them out on the ground with my 2 piles on my sides, the big pile and the small pile. I tried to do the big pile first because it was easier for some reason to match pieces, and so I would put a piece down, and then I would see, okay, this has this color blue and this color blue. I want to try not to get those 2 blues in the next piece. I wanted a different 2 fabric in the next piece. So I would have like this piece with, and this is a bad example because this is literally the same piece, but basically I would take this piece and then I would take another piece, like let's say this is a different fabric, and then I would set them up like this, and then I would pin them. I would put the right sides together like this, I would pin them, and then I would put them out like that. That way I could kind of see what the fabric was going to look like, and then I would do that on all the sides to get kind of one big square shape of fabric. And then from that, I would lay the pattern piece on, make sure that it will fit, and there has to be a little bit of room on all sides because of the seam allowance that will be taken out whenever I like sew these together right here. All the fabric on the other side of the seam will be taken out, so I needed to make sure I had enough fabric for each pattern piece. So I just try to do the most important pieces first, which, like I say most important because that's what you're gonna see. So like for the sleeves, I did those towards the end because I wanted the front to have more pieces that didn't have colors touching, whereas the sleeves, it didn't really matter. And like the back, I did the front pieces and the back pieces first, then I worked on the facing pieces and the collar and the sleeves. So as it got down to the end, it got a little harder to match pieces because then I had to start combining the smaller pieces with the larger pieces. So I had some pieces that were this big, and then I had some pieces that were this big. So I would have to put those on the outsides. So then I would have to mark, okay, these pieces need to be sewn together like this, and if there's seam or there's, you know, extra fabric, put it on the outside, because then I would do this again and then I would double it over so that way I'd get like a solid good piece of fabric on the middle. So that was kind of my process in designing the fabric. So there's multiple pieces of fabric. There's 2 for the sleeves. I didn't want to make a long piece of fabric and then fold it and then cut all my pattern pieces out like you would with a normal yardage of fabric. I wanted to make it for each pattern piece. This way I would know that I would have enough. That way, like, you know, if I was to make a big yard and then there was a section where I couldn't fit the whole front, you know, or the whole sleeve, but I could see a bunch of extra fabric everywhere. So I wanted to make them for each piece, and then I could really design for each piece what I wanted them to look like. So there's 2 for the sleeves. There's for the upper, under, collar, and facing, there's 1 piece. There's a piece for the back. There's 2 pieces for the front, and then there's 1 piece for the facing. And that was the very very last piece that I did, was the facing, just one of them, because I had to make it a really weird shape to fit the facing on. So basically it was like 3 squares down and 1 square over, that way the whole facing piece could fit on. So now what I'm going to do, I have all the fabric sewn back there. I'm going to put the pattern piece on, I'm going to pin them, and then I'm going to cut them out. That's pretty much it for today's video. There will be one last video in this little blue pattern collection showing you what the whole thing looks like when I'm done sewing it, so I can show you like all the details really close up, and then kind of talk about the rest of the progress I made on it. I wanted to end with showing you these 2 pieces. These are the only pieces I had left, so I literally used every single piece of this fabric, which I love because this was like fabric that I bought that was donated. It was such small amounts that you couldn't make a huge piece of, you couldn't make a, you know, jacket out of it because it was like 1/4 of a yard here, you know, 1/3 of a yard here. And so what I really wanted out of this project was to be sustainable and to use this fabric that no one else wanted and make something really cool out of it, just to be like, you know, try to practice what I'm preaching, because I I'm always like talking about sustainability, but I really wanted to show you like how you can make sustainability into something cool. So let me know if you like this video. Other than that, I will talk to you later.